All right, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Kalpala Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh Kakadash, Divine to the elder apostle of great Milton, Wu will, and the dictation of oxygen and preaching the truth across the four corners of the earth, through the fear and power of Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, that the hope will elect, and who the world inwardly call God is named Yahweh, and who the world inwardly calls Jesus Christ, named Yahweh Shai. And the Hebrew Israelite that consists of the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian, and those who in line descendant go back to the 12 tribe of Israel, due to the scattering amongst the nation. All right, as you see on the screen, since everybody want to celebrate Easter this weekend, all right, not realizing, not knowing, all right, the significant or the real meaning of Easter, all right, the holidays and stuff, okay? And not the Easter what you think that's mentioned in the Bible, all right? It's going to show you how many times it's mentioned in the Bible as opposed to what it really is and how many times that appears in the Bible. So this is the post online by a guy named Kevin Matthews. The coloring of Easter egg comes from Babylon, where they would sacrifice babies and dip egg in their blood and offer them up to the fertility goddess Ishtar, Easter. These rituals are not innocent. The origin are satanic. That's correct. All right, this is left hand energy. All right, child sacrificing and worshiping other gods is all left hand activities. All right, worshiping other gods. The Bible clearly states, "Worship no other god besides me." All right, and you're gonna find out that's idolatry. Idolatry. All right, and the other god or no god. All right, they don't have no power. Okay. But let's go to Easter is, and we'll come back, rendezvous back to this. All right, now, Easter, you can see I did a search. It's appeared one time in the whole Bible. You see this search range, the whole Bible, all right? And that's at 12 and 4. And when he had apprehended him, all right, what are we talking about? Let's go up. Talking about, let's start at 1. Now, about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hand to vex certain of the church, and he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. And because he thought it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. All right, that's when the original apostle was starting to get taken out. All right, they were starting getting persecuted and being put to death. And then because he thought it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the day of unleavened bread. All right? And y'all people don't realize that this is in the same chapter. And it's like y'all skip all this and go straight to verse 4. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people, right? And they go, oh, Easter in the Bible, let's go celebrate Easter. But I can, pretty sure anybody can say this, before I knew the truth and celebrated Easter, we never kept the unleavened bread. The days of unleavened bread was the feast of unleavened bread. All right? And while you reading the NLT, verse 3, when Herod saw how much this pleased the Jewish people, he also arrested Peter. This took place during the Passover celebration. See? Because the Feast of Unleavened Bread is part of the Passover. All right? We have the Passover. That's on the 14th day. All right? And then that sundown, you observe the Passover. Okay? And then the 7 days, you have the Feast of Unleavened Bread. All right? Eat bread with no leaven in it. All right? Next verse, in the NLT, verse 4, then he imprisoned him, placing him under the guard of 4 squad of 4 soldiers each. Herod intended to bring Peter out for public trial after the Passover. Okay, let's click on here and see what Easter means. Alright, before that, let's look up in them online. That Easter is the noun, Old English. Alright, go down here. Also, the name of a goddess of fertility and spring, perhaps originally of sunrise, whose feast was celebrated at the spring equinox from east toward the sunrise. Alright, to shine especially at the dawn. Alright, because when the sunrise, it's right from the what? From the east. Okay, hence the name Easter. Alright, because the sun rises from the east. Alright, and now it's to celebrate the spring equinox. Alright, after the winter, alright, during the winter time, it wasn't that much sunlight like that. So when the spring came, they were worshiping the god of the sunlight, which is what the other nations worship. Okay, we can get that in a moment. You know, I can get it in another Bible app. So I'm gonna get. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. We're gonna. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. Yeah. Easter. Oh, the heathen, they worship the creation. And not the creator. We worship the creation. We worship the creator of the Israelite. We were meant to worship the creator, with the Yahweh Shai. Alright? The one who changed the truth of the Most High Yahweh into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the creator. Alright? All these things was created. And the other nation, they worship the creature, the things that are created. Alright? They don't worship the ultimate true living power, which is Yahweh Shai. Who is blessed who is blessed forever, amen. Alright, but that's not the scripture I wanted. Yeah, I can find that scripture. Here, a good one. Jeremiah 10 and 2. 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord Yahweh shall try speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh shall try, learn not the ways of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, right? Because the sun is the part of the signs in the heaven, all right? For the heathen are dismayed at them. All right, because they were putting they were worshiping in the sun, all right? They worshiping many other things, but the focus is on the sun, all right? Ether, which go back to Ishtar, all right? It's verse 10. But the Lord Yahweh Shai is the true power. He is the living God, which is the true power, and an everlasting King. At his wrath the earth shall tremble, and the nations shall not be able to abide his indignation. It's verse 11. Thus shall ye say unto them, the God that have not made the heaven and the earth, even they shall perish from the earth and from under these heavens. All right, all these other different gods are all going to perish. He hath made the earth by his power. He hath established the world by his wisdom. All right, how about Shai? And hath stretched out the heaven by his discretion. When he uttered his voice, there is a multitude of water in the heaven, and he causeth the vapor to ascend from the end of the earth. He maketh lightning with rain, and bringeth forth the wind of his treasure. All right. Every man is bruited in his knowledge. Every founder is confounded by the graven image, for his molten image is falsehood, and there is no breath in them. All right. And you can wrap up Easter into that and all the other pagan holidays that you people worship in the world. All right. So let's get back to this Easter. All right. So we got the meaning, what it means. Now you look it up, all right, in the Bible, or you look it up in the Greek, it can give you the actual meaning of Easter. All right. The Easter in the Hebrew, in the Greek, is basically Pachak. All right. Pakash or Bakash, Pasak, all right, Patak, all right, which is a high holy day in the scripture, okay? It's not what you people worship the day Easter, all right, with the bunny, with the boiled egg. Would that go back to what? Dipping in sacrifice children blood, okay? Now, if we read it, the meaning, it said the paschal sacrifice which was accustomed to be offered for the people delivering of old from Egypt. It should say Israel, not people, Israel. Did they try to include everybody in that? The paschal lamb and the damp of the lamb, the Israelites were accustomed to slay and eat on the 14th day of the month, all right, which we just had the Passover last month, all right, according to the new moon, though. That came in that month. It's kind of 14 days, and during the Passover, along with the Feast of Unleavened Bread. All right, the first month of their year, in memory of the day on which their father preparing to depart from Egypt, and you can read that in Exodus chapter 30, if I'm not mistaken. All right, it said In memory of the day on which their father, preparing to depart from Egypt, were bidden by Yahweh to slay and eat a lamb and to sprinkle their doorpost with its blood, that the destroying angel, seeing the blood, might pass over their dwelling. All right, and that's why we observe the Passover. All right, the physical part we observe it, and then Yahweh Shai was the sacrificial lamb. All right, and that's why we observe him on the Passover. All right, because he was born around the Passover. All right, if you do your research as well, he was killed during the Passover. Okay, he was killed during the Passover. All right, would make him the sacrificial lamb. If the Yahushua crucified, it's likened to the slain paschal lamb, right? Because he was the sacrificial lamb. All right, for our sins, for the elect, first and foremost. All right, the Pesach feast, the feast of Passover, extended from the 14th to the 20th day of the month of the first month. All right, of the new year. You see, the Passover is 28 times in the Bible. All right, so let's do the search. Well, Easter is only one time. Actually, it's 71 times. All right, in the KJV. Okay, from the Old all the way to the New Testament, the word Passover is mentioned 71 times. All right, and you can read the account of the different of the laws, the statute, commandment, or how we have to observe the high holy day. All right, and then also when House Shai was in the scene as well. All right. From there we got Easter. All right, the origin of Easter. Okay. It's pretty long, so basically I'm trying to find a shorter way to sum it up. Let me just go to the book. All right. Custom Jewel. Not Custom Jewel, but what's this book called? Supposed to like Custom. All right. Now, Easter. Now, it's the Ishtar, right? Which is Easter. As we have already covered, this name became Asherah, Astar, Astarte, Estre, and she is now embraced or blurred in a festival called Easter. Alright, find Easter and you find her. She a bit fossilized, but nonetheless still around. The beach is here. Come on, let's try to get to the point. Anyway. Now I thought this was interesting. Right here. This is Passover, right? Now you get down to down here that Constantine redesigned its determination at the First Council of Catholicism at Nicaea in 325 and involved the vernal equinox instead in it. He also set up the policy that if ever Easter and Passover occur on the same day, Easter will be observed the following Sunday, all right, because it was worship, go back to the sun god, all right. Easter, all right, with the sun rising from the east, all right. And that's why your church worship Easter on Sunday, all right. So as it ain't got nothing to do with the resurrection of Yahushua, all right, because that's not 3 days. All right, from Friday to Sunday is 2 days. All right, I don't know how to do basic math. All right, it said so as not to have anything in common with the hostile rabble of the Judaism when the top one were assembled on the Sabbath, as he read in Act 2, the set apart spirit was poured out on them. That's going to something else. Alright, that's pretty much it on that. I'm thinking like I'm all over the place. This is Roman Catholicism eliminated. Alright, that's a note. The Roman Catholicism eliminated the second so as to continue the pagan behavior of bowing and kneeling before images and split the 10th commandment into two so as to maintain 10. They briefly outlawed images during the 8th century, but after 34 years without them, reverted back by wiping out the dogma. At the Council of Constantinople in 754, oh crap, what the heck? 754, image worship and image were abolished. In 788, worship of the cross relic, dead bone, and images were reauthorized. Let's see. Alright, it said Constantine spoiled the true day of rest and turned it into his Baal day or Sunday. He brought in the pagan festival of Easter to obliterate Passover. If you were Satan or Shaitan in Hebrew, wouldn't you possess the man with the most power and divert things? Where do you think Shaitan is today? Alright, going to something else. So I'm just cherry picking. Alright, let's start that. Now here it did the origin of Easter, alright? It's on Wikipedia under Hebrew root, neglect the commandment, idolatry, Easter. So basically to sum up, Nimrod was alright, with the Babylonian period, and his mother, which became his wife, alright, had a kid named Tammuz. Alright, the wife's name was Ishtar. Okay. And she pretty much, after Nimrod was killed, she pretty much said that the God came back. Basically, let me just read it. I don't want to misquote it. It said Nimrod was killed because of his violent iniquity against the true and living power, and his body was cut in pieces and sent to various parts of his kingdom. His wife and mother, alright, the same person. His mother became his wife, alright. which is against the commandment. All right, but these are heathens, so they were doing these kind of stuff. Told the people of Babylon that Nimrod had ascended to the sun and was now to be called Baal, the sun god. And Semiramis was creating a mystery religion, and with the help of Satan, she set herself up as a goddess. Semiramis claimed that she was conceived, immaculately conceived. She taught that the moon was a goddess that went through a 28-day cycle and ovulated when the full, and then she had come down from the moon in a giant moon egg that fell into the Euphrates River at sunrise at the time of the first full moon after the spring equinox on a Sunday. Semiramis became known as Ishtar, so her name was changed, referred to as Ashtoreth in scripture, and her moon egg became known as Ishtar egg. Alright, and that's why the egg is worshipped on Easter. One of her titles was Queen of Heaven, and two of her fertility symbols were the rabbit and the egg. She soon became pregnant and claimed that it was the ray of the sun god Baal that instead of Nimrod that caused her to conceive. Basically, she had sex before Nimrod died. That's what it was. And that's where the whole Immaculate Conception comes from, with the so-called Virgin Mary in the scriptures, all right, Yahushua mother. She actually had sex with her husband, all right, Yahushua dad, which was, like I can't remember right now. It said, one of her title, we read that the son that she brought forth was named Tammuz, all right, Tammuz, which was her, son and grandson at the same time. Weird. Tammuz was believed to be the son of the sun god, but Tammuz, like his supposed father, became a hunter. The day came when Tammuz was killed by a wild pig. Queen Ishtar told the people that Tammuz was now extended to his father, and that the two of them would be with the worshiper and the sacred candle and lamp flame as Father, Son, and Spirit. Alright, Ishtar, who would now worship as the mother of God and the Queen of Heaven, continued to build her mystery religion. The queen told the worshiper that when Tammuz was killed by the wild pig, some of his blood fell on the stump of an evergreen tree, and the stump grew into a full new tree overnight. This made the evergreen tree sacred by the blood of Tammuz, and that's why y'all have the tree on Christmas Day. Alright, which go back to Tammuz and Nimrod, not who the world inwardly called Jesus Christ. All right. Down here it said Ishtar, Semiramis, widow of Nimrod, mother of Tammuz, came to be represented as the bare-breasted pagan fertility goddess of the East. The original pagan festival of Easter was a sex orgy that celebrated the return of life via the fertility of Ishtar, conception of Tammuz. All right, so this was all type of wickedness going on. Worshipper of the Babylonian religion celebrated the conception of Tammuz on the first Sunday after the full moon that followed the spring equinox, and that's why y'all follow this for Easter. They celebrated it by baking cake to Ishtar, getting drunk, engaging in sex orgies, and prostitution. The temple of Ishtar, women were required to celebrate the conception of Tammuz by lying down in the temple and having sex with whoever enters. The men were required to leave her money. Babies were sacrificed in an honorary pagan god, and their blood was consumed by the worshiper. The priest of Easter would sacrifice infant human baby and take the egg of Ishtar as symbol of fertility and dye them in the blood of the sacrificed infant human baby. All right, and that's where we got this thing right here in this picture. All right, so this is actual fact. All right, it said the Easter egg was hatched on December 25th, 9 months later, the same day as her son Tammuz, the reincarnated son God would be born. All right. December 25th had nothing to do with the Lord, all right, Yahweh Shai, who the world literally calls Jesus Christ. All right, it had to do with Tammuz, okay? That's pretty much the gist of it. You want to get more into it, you can research and study for yourself. All right, I'm about to wrap it up. Went longer than I expected. This is shout out to the brother, the elder, um, Yachawamba went into this a little bit. All right, because King Solomon he wanted to know all the wisdom in the world and stuff, so he went far left. All right, and it said 13:11-5. For Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Didyanian, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. All right, so we go into that what we just read. So he had and look the next verse says, and Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord Yahweh Shai, and went not fully after the Lord Yahweh Shai as did David his father. All right, so we can only imagine that through extrapolation and him worshiping other God that he was partaking in these things. All right, and that's what he had went off on, King Solomon, not because he was having sex with these other other women from different nations. It's because he went after the gods. All right, he just read it. All right. So I'm going to leave it at that. I was kind of all over the place, but hopefully the message was conveyed and the edifying was there. And I want to say Tawada, how about Shal Shai with that? Shalom.